All right. Wow, what a great room. Great. I love that people show up at 11:30 in the morning for poetry. Um, my name is Marty Ackitts, and I'm the Adult Programming Coordinator for the library. I'm also the organizer of the Great Lakes Poetry Festival this year. It's been a really wonderful week, a really wonderful festival with lots of great poets. But this is one of the events that I was most looking forward to because I love hearing new young poets because you guys are the future of poetry. You guys are the future poets laureates and all that. So I'm always excited to hear young voices. I just have to thank a few groups and people. If you're watching on YouTube, where's the camera? If you're watching, wow. I'm like, where's my camera? Is this my good side? Anyway, if you are watching on YouTube, you can thank the Friends of Peter White Public Library because that is the organization that provided all the live streaming equipment, and we couldn't do so much of what we do here at the library without them. A few other groups that were very helpful, the UP Poet Laureate Foundation, the Marquette Poets Circle, Health and Happiness Magazine, Travel Marquette, Pyre Publishing, and for this event we also had some people who generously donated funds to purchase the prizes, those wonderful books back there, and those people were the UP Poet Laureate Foundation, Janine Rastel, and also Beverly Mathern, so we have to thank them for that, and I want to give them a hand for doing that. All right. Well, you all have programs, and we're going to move through this. And I know that sometimes people get a little anxious when they get up here to talk. Don't worry about it. You're all among friends. Nobody's here to throw fruit at you. We're here to celebrate you. Okay. So we're going to have the poets that are the way that they're in the program. It's in no particular order. So we just kind of randomly put the names on there. And then we will also, the judges for the contest and myself will read the poems of the people who were not able to attend this afternoon, so that we can hear those poems as well. And then at the end of everything, we will announce the winners, distribute prizes, get pictures, eat cookies, and just have fun. Okay? So first and foremost, I want to acknowledge two of the judges that are able to be here tonight. I want to say tonight because it's been evening all this morning. Two of the judges. One is B.G. Bradley, who is right there, and he was the 2022 Marquette Art Awards Writer of the Year. And he graciously agreed to be one of the judges. And then also our new UP Poet Laureate, Beverly Mathern, back there, who was also agreed to be one of the judges. And this is her second year in a row for doing that for us. The person who couldn't be here today and sends her apologies and says she wishes she could be here is Lisa Fosmo. But she also wanted me to let you know how much she enjoyed reading all of the poetry that came in from the entrance. So I'm very excited, and she's believe me, she's very sad she can't be here this morning because she was really looking forward to it. So here we go. I'm going to introduce the poets, and then I'll have you come up. If you don't have your poems, you don't get out of it that easy because I have the poems printed up. So some people do that, they're like, oh, I didn't bring my poem. No worries. Okay, so the first person, the first contestant, the first poet that I'm going to have to come up and read is going to be Laurel Harrison, who's going to be reading All That Is Gold.
So my poem is All That Is Gold. The sun shines above us all. It shines for you, they say. A smiling God will still watch us fall, but still they pray. Help us, save us. You are far beyond that now. We really are superfluous. I'm sure we'll find out somehow. Oceans will rise, kingdoms will fall, and and yet time passes without hearing our cries. The pillars will not always stand tall. A downward spiral into the deep, dark screams run feral. The sun can't reach us here, we're underwater. The smiling eyes can see our peril. Why save sheep headed for the slaughter? A God of glory and praise not even the winds can tame. Can't you come down? Have you forgotten from whence you came? Your people call, they will drown. And yet you stand alone, broken pillars at your feet. May a smiling God guide you home. A valley of the lost lies just beyond a golden sheet.
Thank you, Laurel. One of the things that I do and have done as a poet laureate, and then just in my regular life, I don't know if I have a regular life, but anyway, is I go into schools and I teach, and it's always really exciting to do that. And I was able to go into the classroom of our next reader, Colin Gallion, just a few weeks ago, and I have to say that I'm so impressed. I was so impressed by all of the writers in that class. Gina Sorensen is doing such a wonderful job in Nagani on behalf of poetry. You know, we need people to be like leaders and crusaders for poetry. So our next poet who's going to be reading is Colin Gallion, who's going to be reading The Beast.
You said this is on YouTube?
This is on YouTube.
All right. Hi, Mom. Look at me. I'm on the internet now. Just don't turn me into a meme, that's all. All right, so this is called The Beast. Late at night, when the lights are out of sight, I let the cage open. It's not like any cage you see. It's not the kind that tames the beast, or prepares your mind for a late-night feast. This is the kind that encourages the animal, angers it, riles it, adrenalize, vilify, hype it like a cocaine fiend. It eats whatever it can, whenever it can, devours everything it can and wants. The meal and sides and plates and napkins, chew it and spew it like thick molasses. When he's free, whether by my will or his force, he stalks the halls of memory lane and shows me all the frames. My enemies become paper-thin villains taped to the side of a six-way punching bag going pow, pow, pow every time I see their stupid faces. They bring me pain and misery, but the sweet relief of doing just the same can be more uplifting than what your mommy and daddy tell you what to do. It shows me all the love I've carried and the love I've given, like some small-town bank with a safe full of love closed to bankruptcy. We'll only be handing out ones and fives, but no 100s, because of our shortage due to theft, death, meth, and changing ownership. The big boys won't resupply because they've got bigger issues than some small-town kid with a head that can't think straight. But even in the darkest hours, the bank can still make as much as it can and spend it as much as it can, all because of the beast that roams the halls, repairs the cracks, and paints the walls. The beast can take on many forms, like a star or a poet or a really good friend. It could be male, dale, female, or just whatever it wants. Could be gay, could be nay, could be queer, but it's always near. My favorite's when he's in the form of a man, wearing purple sweaters, corduroys, and a very fine tan. Tan from all the times he spends at night, waiting for when he can shine like a bright light. He's got a fancy goatee under his Ringo nose, and then he whips out his guitar and plays something crazy. The beast can roam for as long as he wants, but knows the end is near. When the sun pops through those curtains like a Hollywood creep, it goes back to the cage to sleep another day, while the rest of my brain functions like a fine-tuned machine. But when my enemies appear and my love is here, the cage gets rattled and rattled until it rusts and breaks, and releases the beast at times you don't expect it, and eats you, gobbles you, turns you into something that you can't even think of. Not even the beast within your head can think and do the things that mine can do. because I anger it, rile it, adrenalize, vilify, hype it like a cocaine fiend. It eats whatever it can whenever it can, devours everything it can and wants, the meal and sides and plates and napkins, chew it and spew it like thick molasses.
Chew it and spew it like thick molasses. Isn't that great? And by the way, I really appreciate your hat as well. Thank you. You know what? You're on your way. You're on your way. Okay. So the next reader is someone I'm not that familiar with. Actually, I'm lying. It's my son. And I didn't force him to enter this. And I don't force him to write poetry. Well, sometimes I do. I do sometimes. But anyway, he is he's just a really, really wonderful young man. And I'm really excited to introduce Gideon Ackett's reading his poem, The Snowman.
I'm tall.
This is to say he's taller than me. I'm saying no.
I am. The Snowman. My last day in this cabin. Snow multiplies by the minute. Cracks in the roof, wider and wider. I will freeze my body a snowman. I will be snow. Nobody knows I'm out in this cold, quiet place. This life was fun. I hope I see you all again, wherever we go when we die. That white, white field.
I swear we don't abuse him at home. I swear. Wow. Okay. So our next poet, Ileana Jukamik, is going to be reading her poem, Random Things. Where's Ileana? Come on up. Awesome.
Okay. Random thoughts are phrases that stuck out in my head but didn't fit anywhere else. My brain painting my emotions across the backs of my eyelids. My heart pounding out lines of poetry to the unwilling ears of the world. Innocence being lost because it was forgotten. I watched as it plunged into those cold depths and sought to rip its hand away from mine forever. I pasted on a smile and looked into the mirror, but the girl in the mirror did not smile back at me. She had empty eyes, no more random thoughts from her. Random thoughts are strung together, creating art for the masses.
You know, what amazes me about each of these poems is they're so much deeper thinkers than I was at that age. You know, I was worried about, you know, such things that seem so trivial. But there's some deep, deep thinkers in this group. All right, our next poet is Berkeley Thompson, who is going to be reading her poem, Bubbles for Pop.
Hello. This is Bubbles for Pop. Whirling around on a sun-stricken April porch that still seeps the fruits of winter. His bare head glistens in the evening light, and he wears a 10-year-old smile like a crown upon an 80-year-old head. He holds on to this snapshot of joy like it is a lifeline, a tether to youth, as he fumbles across ecstasy in a dazed sweep across the turning sky. The wood boards in the porch, lain tenderly so many years before, have dulled from the battering of time's abrasive measures. But they hold his weight just the same, as he dances in a mesmerizing spiral under the late afternoon sun, the bubble wand from his granddaughter's Easter gift basket pulling a path through the air, a traceless and evolving mark. But we watch this display with hazy and weighted eyes, the expiration date on the cereal creeping in like a tide that won't go out until it takes him with it. And we can't wish perpetuity into existence, even if it laced every thought and tinged our skies red. So we move on, just leaves on the breast of a current, And as we scrape our wing across the sky and are left a smear of our past and the dulled ache of an imperceptible future, we wash. Wash midnight's darkest promises made in the breath of a taut note. Down the drain, a perpetual spiral that dissipates and taints the waters of 1,000 minds that sing. Of days that turned wisps upon the breeze, breathing. And for a few more seconds of hastened breath, we see him on the porch, our pain of finite hours with his beating heart in tandem with ours. Just a blur that barely taints, barely smudges the oblivious ecstasy of the present. This rapture captured in these bubbles, shining against the fading light of the same sun that has weathered his back since the day his pink flesh first graced the world. His life is a collaboration of every moment that we spent with him, feeling the weight of his love a gentle pressure upon our chests. Because love should not be the cause of affliction. Loving even when his consciousness has gone dark and vacant is always a celebration, always a thread that is pulled through each life he has touched, always laced in every note that the birds sing in the morning, and every pistil and note of the flowers, like the ones he brought her after his morning walk, in the porch that he still whirls around on, that bubble wand still swinging with each step, a message to us all, to be alive, to feel the heartbeat of our intertwined lives thrumming in the sky. This golden, weary porch, feathered by the rose-crested sun, be alive. Take each second in our palm and caress it, feeding it with our love, watching it grow until its infinite lifetime expresses the mark that he has left on our lives. It is a burgeoning legacy, a shoulder on which we lay our heads. It is the story of this incredible love.
Thank you, Berkeley. So many great lines in that poem. When I was reading these poems, I didn't judge, but when I was reading these poems, when I recognize a good poem, it's when I feel sort of jealous of the poem by what it does. And each one of the poems from you guys had moments like that in it, which is really, really amazing. All right. Our next poet is going to be Tatum Larson, who's going to be reading Arms of Silks.
Arms of Silks. Aerial arts. The movement of silks like waves rolling up to a foggy beach in the summer warmth. Warmth. The feeling as the tree rosin works with me gripping onto the silks. As my arms grow tired, I wrap my feet around, creating a lock securing me. Dancing in the air as the music talks to my body, guiding me through movements harmoniously. Free, the feeling of falling, but not before the silks grasp me in their soft but painful arms. As I unravel from the mass of knots protecting me from the ground below, I slowly descend, ensuring grace is within me and no burns will be made. Gravity. As I touch down, gravity weighs on my shoulders, sinking me into a finishing bow.
Thank you, Tatum. All right. Our next poet is Amelia Helms Gleason, who's going to be reading her poem, Moms. And she was here really early, so I really appreciate this.
I remember the first time I was told to die. I was probably 12 at the time, and I wanted to give the guy a black eye. You better believe I took it personally because it was directed at my family. There have been many times since then where this phrase has been whispered, muttered, or cried at my family members and I, but sadly, this utterance is just a part of our everyday lives. Many people disagree with the structure of my family because I was not raised in heterosexual formality. My parents, the ones who nurture and care, who are constantly there, making sure I am never alone, and someone is always there to hug me like a giant honey bear. Not mom and dad, plural noun, moms. For some reason, when I tack on the S at the end, no one seems to understand that they too love and care. But they have to endure bitter stares, heinous acts, and are treated unfair. Because everyone is unique, but for some reason, when you don't stay within the boundaries set by society, you are put under a spectacle, expected to conform to what is deemed acceptable. Just to make it clear, I have not been mistreated or brainwashed. I do not have behavioral problems, and my psychological development hasn't been compromised due to the setting in which I arise. And yes, they are my parents. The way I say it varies because of the reactions I may receive. The ones up above are what happens when I say moms, softly, either a whisper or a mutter, so they might just let it flutter away like a butterfly on a cool summer's day, sneaking quietly past as you wonder and gaze, because occasionally I am afraid, and not just of what someone could say, but because of the actions that could take place after I say the word that they so effortlessly hate.
Thank you, Amelia. By the way, I like your shoes. You know, look, we match. Anyway, okay. So there were 4 poets who were not able to attend today. Some of them had to work, whatever. Poetry comes first. But anyway, we are going to read those poems that were entered so that you can get a full scope of the kind of talent that we really received this year. So the first poem that I'm going to read, and then we'll have BG and Beverly is going to come up and read as well, is by Sammy Hewitt, and it's called Last First. One December, just like any other, downstate to play derby. Little did I know that it would be my last. One January, just like any other, going to school. Little did I know it would be my last. One February, just like any other, playing my violin. Little did I know it would be my last. One March, just like any other, 3 weeks off school, 3 weeks of freedom, 3 weeks of fun, 3 weeks, turns into 3 years. Wow, how time flies, but how long could it have been? 3 years. 3 years can do a lot. How many more lasts can come with 3 years? Last, goodbye. Last, I love you. Last, visit. Last. When does it stop? First. First best friends. First derby game. First concert. First. One new year, different than the last. This is my first, the start of something new. Over the past 3 years, I've learned that I'll never get back the lasts, but I've learned there will always be more firsts. And now I'm going to invite B.G. Bradley to come up and read Molly Still's poem, A Girl with Two Pigtails.
A girl with two pigtails. A girl with two pigtails walks into her school with her sparkly purple backpack, too heavy for her shoulders. The Velcro from her shoes scratch with every step she takes. Her yellow overalls with a small striped shirt and her blue lunchbox filled with her favorite lunch to eat. A girl with two pigtails sits down at her desk. She takes out her books. With her small, fragile hand, she puts her backpack in her cubby and her pencils in her box. She begins her day by listening to her teacher talk. Take out your books, the teacher says. It's time to read, her favorite subject. A girl with two pigtails sounds out her words as she's carefully reading each vowel and noun. She and her classmates are startled by a sound. 3 loud cracks. Bam, bam, bam. Alarms are ringing and she doesn't understand. A girl with two pigtails hides under a table. A teacher so frantic, scared, and unstable. 3 more cracks go off and a scream that follows. The teacher so quiet, afraid to even swallow a classroom of children, so confused and afraid. What happened to reading? It was the best part of the day. A girl with two pigtails sits quietly with her class. Silence is interrupted by the shattering of some glass. Her teacher leaps up with shrieks of horror. Sirens and alarms go off in every corner. A classroom of children, so innocent and small, take off running in hopes to get to the hall. A girl with two pigtails never walked back home. She never finished that book or ate her favorite lunch. She never grew into her backpack. Her Velcro never continued to crunch. A girl with two pigtails had walked to her class. Little did she know it would be her last.
Maybe times were simpler when I was younger, for sure. So our next poet is Ryan Kirkala, and we have Beverly Mathern, who's going to be reading Ryan's poem, Carpe Diem.
You have to forgive the get-up. I have another event right after this one, a fundraiser for charity. So this is Carpe Diem. Seize the day. Live every day to the fullest, so your life has no dullness, for your life will have no dismay. Life is full of opportunities for the many we see. Be best you can be, for your life is lived beautifully. Life is an adventure. The journey is wild and free. Be ethical and let all see, for your life shall not be an indenture. Life is too short, so live every day at its best, your last. Don't worry about your past, for your life will be one of the sorts. Life is a choice. Freedom is a norm, and many forms. So have a voice and seize the day. Live in the moment. Enjoy the time you see. Live your life in glee. Life is full of components, so seize the day. Make your day. Live with happiness, so your life will have no sappiness. Live the Carpe Diem way and seize the day.
All right. Thank you, Beverly. The last poem from the poet from the last poet is titled Snow, and it's by Dominic Camilli, who could not be here because he's traveling with family, whatever. Anyway, just kidding. So this is Snow by Dominic Camilli. Snow is falling silently, falling on the ground. The air outside is still, and my house is really warm. The snow is blinding white as the sun reflects off. It makes paper look gray. It crunches when you walk on it. It sinks beneath your feet. Snow is falling silently, falling on the ground. The air outside is still, and my house is really warm. So now that you've heard all the poems, you know what a tough job the judges had in deciding first, second, and third. But as I always say, there's really no losers when it comes to poetry. If you write a poem, you've won, okay? And that's what you have to keep in mind. And everybody's going to be getting prizes today. Like I said, we had so much generosity from those three donors who bought those books for each and every one of the entrants here today. So this is the way I will do this. I'm going to start with third place, and I'll have that person come up and receive the certificate and their prize, and second place and first place. Okay? And there's no drum rolls here, so. All right. Oops. So third place which comes along with a $10 snowbound gift card, goes to Amelia Helms Gleason, moms. Can anybody have a phone that they can take a picture for me? Oh, you got it, Amanda? Okay, here, we'll just, there's that, and just hold it up, and Amanda's gonna... Thank you. All right. Second place, which comes with a $10 gift card. Wait, did I give you the $15 one? I meant to give you the $10 one. I'm sorry. Wow. It's been a long week. Please. It's been a long week of festivals. Okay, so second place, which comes with a $15 snowbound gift card, belongs to Colin Gallion for The Beast. There you go. There's your card. All right. Wait a second. Oh, Dad's got to go. Thank you. All right. And first place for the Teen Poetry Contest for 2023 Great Lakes Poetry Festival goes to Berkeley Thompson, Bubbles for Pop. All right. Thank you. Oh, wait, we got another one. Okay. All right. So I want to thank you all for coming. So everybody that's here, all of you, whether you got first, second, third prize, everybody gets one of the books back there, so you can go back and pick out which book you want. Also, I would like all of the poets that are here to, after you've done and mingled and gotten your congratulations, if you could come to the front of the room, we'll get a group shot of all the poets that read today. But thank you all for coming, and thank you for supporting poetry and the Great Lakes Poetry Festival.